Hey everyone, it's Bree, and I'm back with another scrapbook process video for the Spiegel Mom Scraps design team. And I'm going to be working with the three sequin mixes that you see on my desk right there. The mixes are Opal Mist, Fifth Avenue, and Signs of Spring. I'm digging into my stash this month and using up some of the sequins that I have left over from the monthly releases and just getting them used up and onto some projects. I don't know if y'all have checked out the June release that is coming up, but they are gorgeous. So I'm making room for those new beautiful June sequins. Now I am going to be creating a shaker within a cut file. I've done this before. I love to create shakers, especially in cut files, but I also love to create shakers by sewing them with like vellum or acetate, creating uh, shakers using pocket pages and my fuse tool or chipboard frames, ephemera frames, creating shakers using like punches to create the little inside pieces. Any kind of shaker, I love to make it. So I am using my favorite foam strips there. They are by Doris. I leave the package on my desk so that y'all can see them. They are skinny and narrow and perfect for cut files. Christina Soares, who is also a fellow sparkler, she carries them in her shop, which is Redefined Creative. I also pick them up at Simon Says Stamp, or you can just look online. I don't know if Amazon has those or not. But then scrapbook.com also has similar ones that are the same height, just longer strips. So anyways, okay, while I was talking, I glued my acetate onto the O's in the word color, and then I went around the O's with the foam strips. It is always helpful to remove the backing paper or the release paper from your foam strips. That way you can manipulate and maneuver your foam strip around whatever shape you're needing it for. And then I've added a little bit of each sequin mix to my shakers. I only added like a tiny spoonful of the Fifth Avenue because I really wanted the pops of pink. And the Opal Mist, and well, Opal Mist has pink, but it's very light, and I wanted it a little bit, I wanted to have a little bit more bright pink colors. So that's why I pulled Fifth Avenue. So there are my shakers. They were super simple because they were just two and it was a simple shape. So that's what I wanted to show y'all is you can create a shaker in a cut file and it not be too intimidating. It can be super simple and super easy. Now, I wanted just to keep it simple, like I said. So all I did was take the inside of the O's and glued it right on top of the shaker. So just to keep it easy, I mean, I guess I could have went the hard way and trimmed out the inside of that O, but I just kept it easy and glued the inside on top of the window. Now before I had filmed, I had already cut the insides of the letters to back this cut file. This cut file is by Lacey Ann Designs, and I picked it up from her Etsy shop, and I love her cut files. They are amazing and super easy to back. So I let the silhouette do the work for me. All I did was I cut the cut file once, and then I went back into my software and offset each letter so that they were already ready for me to back it, and it was super simple to back that cut file. Now, I do have to say, oh, here's my shaker. I'll also show, I think I show another up close shot. Or no, wait, this was my up close shot. I'm sorry. What was I going to say? Okay, so the inside of my letters, I completely forgot to cut them out, like where the insides of the P and the R and the A, and I just placed I guess I don't know how to explain it, but there's supposed to be holes in between the letters, like where the P's are and the A and the R. And I totally was just watching my show and just glued them onto the letter. And so, yeah. And I put my foam tape underneath it and couldn't go back and trim out the insides. So you'll see in the final photos what I'm talking about. Hopefully I explained that correctly. Okay, so anyways, I have gone outside of my box and chose a pattern paper that's not, or chose a pattern paper for a foundation layout. Oh my gosh, this voiceover is a mess. Oh my goodness. I cannot get my thoughts together. Anyways, I usually choose a white foundation page. So I went with a pattern paper as my foundation, and I prepped it with some white gesso, and I'm going in with a bunch of shimmer sprays. I have Vibes in Mustard Seed, colorings in a bright fuchsia, spritz in Practice What You Preach, a colorings in Deep, a Vibes in Seize the Day, and a spritz in Sapphire. So all I'm doing is spraying each color onto my glass mat and applying the color onto my page. I think I do a few of the colors where I actually spray it directly onto the page, but since this pattern paper isn't as thick as my Basil Marshmallow cardstock, I didn't want my paper to warp too much, and I didn't apply a lot of gesso. I applied enough for the liquid to sit on top of the page, but I didn't want to have harsh white lines, and I still wanted the pattern paper to be visible somewhat underneath all of that mixed media. So uh, the idea for this layout is I wanted it to be super colorful because the photos that I'm documenting today are some chalk art that I had done at the beginning of our quarantine. So I had made like a Yoshi, a little Dory, and then Hey Hey from Moana. And I completely took that chalk art like to another level in regard to give me all the chalk, Elijah, you don't need any of it. No, I'm just kidding, I really didn't. But I ordered a lot of it. That way because I would just sit in the sun and just honestly just draw and have just the time of my life out there. I love to sit in the sun, and being that we were home and spending time together, it was an opportunity for me to sit out with him and Noah as well when he came outside and, just like draw, or we drew and we played, and it was just amazing. So this cut file was perfect, color me happy, because I was coloring and I was happy. So that's why you see all these different colors, and I wanted to just have it fun and colorful and bright and happy. So as I mentioned before about my letters, you can see like in the R, the A, and the two P's, I just glued those tiny white pieces from the original cut file right on top of the pieces of paper that I backed those letters with. I was supposed to trim them out, and I totally forgot, and just, oh my gosh, talk about being distracted. But anyway, it's fine. Like, it turned out okay, but usually I would trim out those little pieces. So I'm just embellishing from my stash. I have a lot of leftover bits from I think the past two Hip Kit Club kits that I've received. So I'm trying to work through what I have instead of mostly just leaving it in the bag and getting my next month's kit and kind of pushing those to the side. So these kits were like so full, so I have so much left of them. So I'm trying to mix them together and incorporate them onto projects and just really get them used up. I've added some tangled thread under that butterfly, and then I did add some tangled thread in a few other areas. It's already busy as it is because I chose different Pocket Life cards to back the cut file. And then I have so much mixed media, and then the pattern paper. It's already busy, as well as I'm using 3 photos of 3 different things. So I tried to not make it too crazy, even though it already is busy. But that's why I kind of kept it as it was. Like, I had to stop myself because it was getting to be too much. So at the top right here, I'm adding more of that peach color because it ended up being covered up a lot by the cut file. So I just went back in and added some of the peach, and then some of that, I think it was Indie colorings right there, or it could have been Seize the Day. They're very similar. One's more bluer than the other though. Let's see. I do add some white acrylic paint. I do like to add that when I'm using pattern paper. And then I did also off camera, I believe, added in some Night Moves colorings, which is a black ink, just to bring in, since I did have a lot of pops of black, I thought the splatters of black would really tie everything together. And that's it. Don't forget to use my code, Brianna15. Here is the final layout. I love how it turned out. I love all the blues, all the colors. I love my little sequin shakers in my cut file. I think they're so pretty and so fun. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.